The first half of 2023 has been pretty incredible for cozy gamers, but what if I told you the second half of 2023 is even bigger and even better? So today I'm going to go over my top 10 cozy games coming to the Nintendo Switch in the rest of 2023. We're going to start today's list off with the first game that's coming out, and that's Stray Gods, which you can expect to come to the Nintendo Switch on the 10th of August. I feel like this is not being talked about enough for how incredible the concept is. This is a role-playing, interactive musical, and I am obsessed with this concept. Now, obviously, as it's an interactive musical, this kind of hinges on the music actually being good. And if it's anything like what we've seen in the trailer, it's going to be absolutely spectacular. Also, if you didn't know, I believe a few of the main characters are voiced by people from Critical Role, so that's got me even more excited to see what this game's going to be like. Now, the style itself for the game is kind of reminiscent of a comic book, but the game itself is fully voice acted. And this is a story involving gods, murder, and musical numbers. And in this, you play as Grace, who is granted the power of a muse. And she uses this power to try and figure out the truth behind her predecessor's death. And you get to decide who Grace can trust, and who might even betray her in this world filled with Greek gods and monsters. And if all that isn't enough for you, there's also romance as well. And although you may be familiar with the Greek gods already, the story you play through most definitely won't be. I just love the fact that this is a cozy game that's completely different from every other cozy game I've played so far, and I just love the idea that I'm going to be playing through a musical myself, because let's face it, I can't sing, so the only way I could take part in a musical is for it to be in a game. Then we have Cosmic Wheel of Sisterhood coming August 16th. Again, this is just a cozy game with a little bit of a difference, and I can't believe we only got told the release day 4 days ago. It's coming out so soon. The Cosmic Wheel of Sisterhood tells the story of identity, community, and personal responsibility in a thought-provoking narrative adventure. You play as Fortuna, a witch living exiled on an asteroid who forms a pact with a forbidden creature in the hope of regaining her freedom. And you'll get to reconnect with your witch friends after 200 years of being exiled. You'll also get to meet new witches, and you'll get to use the cards you create to pierce through their pasts and their futures. And throughout the game, you'll see Fortuna come to terms with her powers that leads to a political plot that will define the fate of the Cosmic Witch Society. I love this mix of narrative-driven story game with the card mechanic as well. It just looks really unique, and it's something I will most definitely be playing. Then on September 8th, we have Faefarm. I won't spend too long on this because there has not been a month since this game launched that I haven't mentioned it in a video, so I think it's safe to say I'm pretty excited. If you didn't know already, this is not only going to be available on the Switch day one, but it's also available on PC and Steam Deck as well. Now, if you didn't already know, I was actually lucky enough to play Faefarm already, so I may be a little bit biased when I say I have fallen in love with it, but the couple of hours I did get to play were fantastic. Faefarm is a magical farming sim-like game which begins with you finding a message in a bottle inviting you to a faraway land. A land in desperate need of some help. So naturally you set sail to try and find it. And after a bit of a messy journey, you wind up at Azoria, a town filled with magic, fairies, and a whole lot of problems that you decide to settle down, start a new life, and help them to figure out. To me, the thing that made me unable to put it down is the fact that it is a perfect mix between farming sim elements and RPG elements. Farming sim-wise, the mechanics are pretty slick and has everything you would expect from a farming sim. Like, it has seasons, events, you can romance villagers, you can tend to crops, you can craft, and there's even magical animals to take care of as well. But on top of all these farming sim dailies, driving the entire game forwards is the story and the quests you need to do for it. The game will see you do anything from fetch quests to traveling to these dungeon-like areas where there's magical monsters that you need to contend with. Although thankfully, even though the combat isn't too bad, there are alternative methods if you don't want to fight your way through these dungeons, which I love. And it also has the classic RPG element of skills that get leveled up as you go along as well. I've always said that one thing I'm looking for in a farming sim is a purpose to farm, and I feel like this has everything I'm looking for. Then we have Meneko's Night Market, which is coming September 26th, alongside 3 other cozy games releasing on the exact same day. Yep, that's gonna be one heck of a day. Now, as you guys might have gauged from this list, it seems to be a very farming sim heavy couple of months. So I'm including this because it's not farming sim based, and that's made me even more excited to play it. This is a game centered around a cat god named Meneko, who would walk around the town and offer good fortune and prosperity to those blessed. But some of the villagers, fueled by their own jealousy, drove the cat god away, leaving the town and its people to make their own good fortunes in the years that passed. And the cat god soon faded from memory and became a myth instead. And that's where Meneko's Night Market really begins, where you play as Meneko, who wanders around the village to hear some claims that the cat god has been seen, in a heartwarming story that promises to be about friendship, tradition, and a whole lot of cats. And sprinkled in with it is a celebration of Japanese culture. You get to follow Meneko as they journey around the island, discover the secrets of a struggling town, trying to get back to where it once was. And although there is no farming in this, there seems to be plenty to do. There's cat racing, stage performances, market minigames. You'll also need to solve puzzles and try and avoid the secret agents sneaking around the area. There's also crafting and the ability to try and sell literally any item you come across. And of course, plenty of people to befriend. I was lucky enough to play the demo earlier this year, and I instantly fell in love with it. The art style is gorgeous, the dialogue was both hilarious and witty, but also heartfelt and wholesome whenever it needed to be. And as someone who is picking up kittens next week, I just love that it's based all around cats. Then we have Fashion Dreamer coming out November 3rd. So last week, Nintendo just casually posted on their YouTube channel and their Twitter that Fashion Dreamer will be releasing November 3rd. It's pretty clear that I am someone who doesn't know a single thing about fashion. However, I am still incredibly excited for Fashion Dreamer. It's pretty clear that you don't need to be a fashion genius to have fun in Fashion Dreamer, as it's a game all about sharing your designs. You'll run around this plaza area, seeing loads of other players as you go, and you're able to interact with them and give them likes as you run past them if you like their outfit. The more likes your character's outfit gets, the further your avatar will spread. Making this kind of like the design tool in Animal Crossing, only there's a much easier way to share it, even with people you don't know. But for people like me who aren't really that fashion driven or don't know the first thing about fashion, if you like someone's outfit that they wear, you'll be given the opportunity to then get those items. Now, earlier in the year when the devs did a showcase of this, they stressed the fact that if you want to be the best, you need to make one-of-a-kind outfits. So by the sounds of it, we might even be able to make fully custom designs if we want to make a truly unique outfit, which will be pretty heckin' cool. The thing that's got me the most excited about this is just how interconnected the game is between different players. And I love the idea that I can go out and run around this world and see players with impeccable taste and outfits, and kind of get inspired in real life as well, and not just in the game. Either way, I think this is going to be one of the best games of 2023. It's unlike any of the cozy games that have come out this year, and I know this brings back a lot of memories of Style Boutique and that style of game, so I think people are genuinely gonna love it. That's it for games we have a specific release date on. So let's talk about a few games that we know are coming in 2023. We just don't quite know when. Starting off this list is Fantasy Life. I have no idea what is happening with this game. I believe this was supposed to be coming out summer 2023, And I don't know if it's because Faefarm is coming out a lot earlier than we thought it would be, that they've decided to kind of not release when they said they would. But so far, we don't have the game, we don't have a release date for the game, and we've heard no news about it whatsoever. So my hope is, if there is a September Direct, we hear about it then. I'm so excited for Fantasy Life because it's a life sim with a bit of a difference. So you can do your classic life sim stuff like gathering resources, cooking, decorating, but there's also a story that drives this entire thing forwards. Now, I think a lot of people's first thought when they first see the trailer is that it's kind of similar to Animal Crossing, but trust me when I say I don't think it's similar at all. First of all, Fantasy Life has combat, but Fantasy Life is also very task and story driven. So instead of kind of making up your own fun and decorating in Animal Crossing, Fantasy Life will have a lot more direction. Because not only do you have the story-based quests, you'll also have villager quests to carry out as well. Another way Fantasy Life differs from other life sims is you get to pick between a bunch of different careers. This can be anything from becoming a cook, a wizard, a mercenary, an alchemist, a carpenter, and so many other choices. And the best thing is you can kind of switch between them and do whatever you fancy. As you carry out tasks as that career though, you'll also level them up and unlock more skills which will be useful in the future. I know this is a game a ton of people are looking forward to. I am desperate for more news to figure out what is happening and when it's coming out, but fingers crossed it's sometime like October, November. I think that's a little bit quieter for cozy games. Either way, excited. I just need to know some information. Then we have Palia, which is coming in late 2023. Full disclosure, I am a partnered Palia content creator, just to let you know. But regardless of that, this is something I am looking forward to so much, which is why I accepted the partnership. For those who don't know, Palia is a farming/life sim that you can either enjoy by yourself or with your friends, as it's actually an online massive multiplayer game. And it's also completely free to play. The story begins when you see yourself descend from the ruins into this strange world named Palia. And standing in front of you is a very shocked scientist who, after discovering that you are in fact a human, kind of explains to you that humans are considered extinct on Palia, as they haven't been seen on this world for thousands of years. And of course, as this is an MMO, you're also not the only human to have appeared. So this story is centered around you trying to figure out what happened to the humans and why they suddenly vanished all those years ago. Now, in terms of gameplay, this has a lot of what we know and love from farming sims already, but with a few additional things. So we have mining, fishing, bug catching, farming, foraging, and cooking. There's also decorating both inside and the outside of your house with some of the most intricate decorating options I have ever seen in a farming sim. You can also date the NPCs, but alongside of this, you have the story quest to do as well. One thing that really caught my interest though was the lack of stamina mechanics. So you're not limited with how much you can do in a single day. Now, as I said earlier, this is a game you can enjoy by yourself, but there's a lot of fun to be had by running around the world with your friends. And if you don't know anyone in real life to play this game with, I'm going to leave a link to my Discord down below, which you can join and play with a bunch of other people also super excited about playing Palia. Now, as this is free to play, there are going to be microtransactions. But so far, they've said that anything that's going to cost real money will purely be cosmetic items. So there's going to be no pay-to-win mechanics whatsoever. Now, if you're on PC, you can actually play this maybe as soon as August 2nd. However, if you are on the Nintendo Switch, you are going to have to wait till later on in the year. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. This is actually a live service game, so with each update, the game will only get better and have even more content for you to play. And considering the devs said this is a game they envisage going on for decades, being a few months behind the PC players probably isn't a big deal. Then we have Dave the Diver that is set to hopefully arrive on the Nintendo Switch by the end of 2023. I have been waiting for a video to talk about my love for this game because it's possibly one of my favorite games of 2023. You do, however, end up attacking fish to kind of be used in a local sushi store, so just keep that in mind if you're thinking about buying this game, as I know not everyone will find that cozy. But basically, you play as a diver named Dave, who has been tasked with catching fish for the local sushi restaurant, and you can use the money you make from the restaurant to then pay for upgrades. And although that sounds simple, there is so much to this game. First of all, you have the ocean itself, because the place you're diving in isn't exactly normal. No two dives in the blue hole will ever be the same. The ocean seems to change every single time you go into it, effectively turning this into a roguelike game. And although you're a bit limited at how far you can go or how deep you can dive when you first go into the ocean, upgrading your equipment allows you to either carry more fish, catch bigger fish, or dive deeper and for longer. But for me, it's only once you finish the diving that the real fun starts. Because not only do you give the fish to the sushi restaurant, you're also in charge of running the sushi restaurant. It's up to you to curate the menu from the fish you caught that day, you can hire and train staff, and you also serve the customers. And underpinning all of these activities is stories of mer people, ocean conservation, and a chef righting his previous wrongs. The thing I love the most about Dave the Diver, though, is that every time you think you've sussed the gameplay out, they add another element. Be this nighttime fishing, the acquisition of rare fish in perfect condition, or the ability to farm. To me, this has been the game I've played the most in the last couple of months. I am obsessed, and I'm so happy it's coming to the Switch. Then we have Sunhaven. Just a few days ago, when I was looking through the Discord, the community manager described the Switch port as being almost done. So I think it's pretty safe to say it's probably coming to the Switch before the end of 2023, hopefully. But if you've watched my recent videos or my ranking of farming sims, you know I absolutely love Sunhaven, as this is a farming sim infused with magic. And after you pick one of the many magical choices for character creation, you find yourself on a train to Sunhaven when it gets struck by dark magic. And you find yourself on a journey to try and stop this dark magic before it's too late. But despite how the story sounds, it's actually a really chill and unique take on a farming sim. There's 3 separate cities to go and explore, each of which you can have a different farm on that all grow different types of crops. This gives you plenty to do outside of just the story quests. There's also incredibly extensive mines in multiple of the towns that you can go to. There's tons of NPCs to talk to and romance. And there's also a ton of mounts and pets as well. This is all alongside your usual farming sim stuff, including catching bugs and fish, cooking, decorating, and hopefully saving the world. My only hope is that they fix the controller settings, because they're not the best right now, but if they get that right, this is going to be an incredible game on the Switch. Finishing off today's list is the Plucky Squire. Again, all we know is that it's coming out in 2023, but this has to be one of the most beautiful games on this list. This story is centered around Jot and his friends, who are storybook characters who stumble across the 3D world. However, things start to go wrong when one of the book characters, Hump Grump, I hope I'm saying that right, finds out that not only is he the villain of the story, but that he's destined to lose at the end of it. So instead of accepting his fate, he decides to change it. And to do that, he kicks Jot out of the pages along with his friends. The gameplay follows Jot as he tries his best to save his friends, take on Hump Grump's dark forces, and try to restore the happy ending of the book. The game flicks between 2D and 3D worlds and includes tons of puzzles to solve, flying, and so much more. This to me just looks like an absolutely charming game. If you've made it this far in the video, be sure to comment the secret word donuts down below, along with the game you're the most looking forward to. And if you want to see some exclusive gameplay of Faefarm, click this video here.